Welcome to 13 Hour Times 62
Lego Set Reviews.
This is set number 2174, Kruncha's Spinner. It's only just called Kruncha, but it just want to let you know that it is a spinner set from Ninjago. It's released in 2011. We get 24 pieces, one minifigure, ages 6 to 14, and retails for about $10. You'd be lucky if you find this today. Let's take a closer look at this set now. I do apologize for the glare on this because there's packaging over it. So here's a look at Kruncha and all of his weapons. You get a regular bone. You get a spike on a chain. And you get the golden weapon, which is a double-bladed axe. And going in two different directions, so you can really cause some damage. You can see some of the pieces in here and all the stats of the set. We get the section for the spinner, which is purple and green. It's also the same spinner that you see in another Ninjago set, whose name escapes me right now. I'll see if I can remember it later during the review. And you can see part of the Ninjago cards right here. The red, green, blue, and yellow are not actual ones, they're just printed on there. If you look at the background, you see a lot of dirt and a lot of chains. So Kruncha is from the Earth element. It's also from 2011. You know it's a second wave because it has gold weapons on the sides, because those are what the other spinners were like. Here's a look at Kai DX as he's battling against Kruncha. And it also shows you the kits on the back. You can also see up here, if I can flip it over, you guys can see it. If you pause it and flip it upside down, this shows all the other spinners. This is $9.99. This is from Kai DX. It's not actually called that as a set. It's called Mountain Shrine, but that's the character and all of his card information. The Sensei Wu, Lord Garmadon, Jay, and Fracjaw. Couldn't read that. It's actually just called the starter set, but that does contain the two characters. And this has Whiplash. We've already reviewed Whiplash earlier. So let's open this up, and we'll see what we got inside. The only way to open Ninjago packages for spinners, or even if you're opening up Chima packages, is basically to mutilate the box. I might even discuss this in a later video about, you know, if you have a problem with the set, how are you to return it? Because if you tear this box apart, you have no idea if pieces have been taken out, or, you know, if you can really sell it in a store afterwards. And you can see we have one bag that contains all of our pieces. Kind of a large bag for all the pieces to fit in, though. But that's the bag for it. Here's the back section where the spinner was. I think the set I'm thinking of with Kruncha and his spinner is the Lightning Dragon Battle. We also get all the cards here inside of a plastic container, so they don't fall out loosely. And here is our build guide and instructions. We open this up as a foldable pamphlet. There we go. So here it shows all the information about playing Ninjago on the bottom. It shows how to build the set and play with the set on the top. It also shows along here more about using the cards effectively and correctly during the game. And it also shows you some of the recent sets from 2011, that is. There's some in the second wave and some in the first wave. It does not show... oh, it does show Kruncha. It shows him in the blacksmith shop. It's probably the next cheapest way to get him other than the spinner. And I'm just going to build this set real quick, because there's only a couple pieces to it. And I'm going to look up, I think it's the Lightning Dragon Battle. Because I remembered an actual play set from Ninjago in 2011, where it included, yep, it's the Lightning Dragon Battle. It includes Kruncha with the same exact spinner. It doesn't include any of the same accessories, though. It only includes him with a golden sword. And not like a katana blade sword. I mean, one of those rustic looking swords. The kind that you would also find maybe in Pirates of the Caribbean. Maybe the ones that you would find in the Lego Castle. So here we have Kruncha. And you can see as I'm building him, he has a gray markings on him. So that means that his element is earth. He's one of the Skull Kid generals. And he also has a gray on each of these parts of the shoulder blades. He also has a general helmet on, and that's built onto the mold. You can see there. He also has what looks like a monocle. I would say that's a monocle. A little gray area around his right eye. And he looks pretty mad, so you don't want to mess with this guy. Now we have the other pieces in the set. This will build some of the models using the spinner, and also uses this also can help with playing with the cards as a way of, what's the word? Playing with the cards in a way that, you know, you knock it over with the spinner. So here we go. We've got everything built. Let's start out with our cards. First character card is Kruncha. And as we can see, he has 100 fire, 100 lightning, 400 earth, and 400 ice. So earth and ice are equally strong with him. And his golden weapon shown on the corner. He's got a good pose for it, even though you can't make it with the arms included in the set. You'd have to use other arms from other sets. And the back of the cards are the same as they are in 2012. The first card we have is Sacrifice, 400 ice. Give up a skeleton arm to take an extra weapon if you win. So that's a very interesting way to use the characters beyond just putting out cards on there, or depending on the weapon you have, or building something. You can actually use headgear or skeleton arms, depending on which cards you have and which characters you have. So, obviously, a card like this was only exclusive to skeletons because they have a skeleton arm. You wouldn't use it for a ninja arm. But it's a very clever strategy. Impersonation, 300 ice. This is a golden card, so you must acquire a golden weapon to use it. Play this card as a copy of an opponent's card. I'm assuming this is right after an opponent plays a card that could be an advantage to them. You play this card, and then you copy theirs. So, this is kind of interesting. I also like the artwork on a lot of these, especially this one, because Zane looks pretty cool the way he's dressed as crazy. The next card we have is Recovery, and we have Krunch on here in a very detailed way, with a sling for an arm and some broken teeth. And again, he's a skeleton, so what do you expect? 200 earth, and this has add a skeleton arm. Now, obviously, this is a card you would use after giving up a skeleton arm for your gain. So this card would allow you to put a skeleton arm back on. You can't have, I don't think you could have 3 skeleton arms. You definitely can't hold 3 weapons. So that would be a waste if you use it before then. And the last card that we have is Gold Smash, 400 earth. And this has the ability to cancel an opponent's golden card. And that's pretty cool, because a lot of golden cards are very useful in different situations, so you don't want to be in the receiving end of a powerful golden card. You play this one after they play theirs, and you'll be able to cancel what their effects are. It'll probably help you take an advantage, or just keep things neutral between the two sides. So now let's take a look at our weapons. Like we said before, this is the Tooth and Chain weapon, very similar to, as we know now for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one of the alternative weapons for Michelangelo, because he has a chain that works just like this with a tooth on the end for sharp attacks. We also have a regular bone. This is also the same bone that we see in Whiplash's spinner. So unless you like getting big bones like this, I don't know if that's really a useful weapon. It is stylish though. And then of course we have the golden weapon, the double axes. Looks pretty cool, and we're gonna test each of these weapons out afterwards. That's the final part of the review. Here we have Kruncha, as he's completely built. And we've run over most of the features when we were building him before, so nothing different here. Like I said before, we had this. We also showed you the speeder, so I think we're ready to show you how these weapons work. It's customary for whenever I do a spinner review, I like to test out the weapons one at a time to see which ones are the most effective and which ones are the longest distance, but don't, and how they work with balance. Because sometimes you have weapons that are too big or too small, but you want to find something that's just right. Something that can reach an opponent from far away, but also not trip you over. And something that's lightweight to spin with, but also hit hard on them so that they can be defeated. We're going to try out first with the bone weapon, the very basic one. So as you see, we were able to hit over the stack of cards. In my opinion, it seems like we only get a little bit of distance away from the spinner, but it may still be useful. I do regard this as like a low-class weapon, though, because it's very thin and probably won't bring too much impact. However, it is full plastic, so probably will do some damage. Alright, let's see if we can go on to the next weapon. I also apologize if you haven't seen other spinner videos. It may take a little bit longer just for getting the spinners to go right. Because sometimes I go off the camera and it's not, have to retry it a couple times. Next one, what we have is the chain with a spike on it. It's probably the longest weapon that we have, maybe second to this. Actually, no, this one's a little bit longer. So this is actually the longest weapon that we have. It's also retractable. Sometimes retractable weapons can help. Let's test this one out. So as we can see, it's actually helpful for it being retractable, and also just, with the chain on it. It's also pretty good for its distance and effect, but it's also kind of small in the end, so I don't know how much of an effect you're going to get out of it. And also, you also have it wound up on one side, so if you had this turned around, it might give it a little bit more distance and a little bit more flexibility if you had it like so. However, the instructions say otherwise. I don't know if you have to always go by the instructions. Sometimes you can go a little bit off the path. And now we'll try out our final weapon. This is the golden axe. Golden double axe, may I say. The proper way to display it is like so. Unless you have it on the package where you could keep it in a little bit, but it's really not going to hit much outside of the... It wouldn't have a lot of offense, but it would have a lot of defense. Let's put it that way. So it would be helpful so you wouldn't have to hit it with another weapon. But if you want to get better chances of hitting someone else, you could use it like this. I would say because of the curved weapon, you want to be careful about inside here and here for getting wrapped up in someone else's weapon, because they'll probably tug you before you tug them. Let's try this one out. So it seems like he can spin pretty well, even though I got that off the side of the camera. I'll do it now. He seems pretty well spun. He can spin very well with it, whether on camera or off camera. And it seems to be at mid-range as far as trying to hit someone, so that's good as far as, effect. I know I haven't actually hit the card yet because I didn't move towards it, but I still consider this a useful weapon. Oops. Don't hit the screen, Kruncha. Although it may have a little bit of movement just because these pieces. I don't think it'll have too much in the arena, depending on the other weapon. And depending on what else it hits. But it probably won't move. I've yet to try these with other people. And there it is. Come on, how about you hit over the card? There we go. So thanks for watching this review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you do whatever you want to do. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. I don't demand any of those things. But I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Let me know if you want to see any more Ninjago sets, other spinner sets, Lego sets, or Connect sets, or anything else that we'd like to see reviewed on this channel regarding Legos and Connects. We'll see you all later, and hope you enjoyed Ninjago spinning.